your leadership in the roofing industry about not only helping businesses but also helping our country on energy policy. I want to acknowledge my colleagues in government who are with me today. Senator Ron Young, who is doing an incredible job in the state legislature representing this area. We've worked together on many issues over the years, and I very much appreciate his leadership on economic growth for this region of our state. We do also have two aldermen who are here, Karen Young and Shelley Alloy. I thank both of them for joining me today, and I thank them for their leadership in the most difficult place of government. You know, the federal government pushes a lot of the issues off on the states push it off on the counties push it off in the municipalities. They have no place to turn. So they are really where the tough work is being done. We thank them for their help and for being here today. I am proud to announce that I will be filing in the Congress legislation known as the Energy Efficient Cool Roof Jobs Act. And this legislation will create jobs and help our nations, exactly what we need. And this is a critical time in the history of America. We need to create more jobs. Everyone talks about the need for some more jobs, but our economy cannot grow unless we create more jobs. We understand that. We're having this debate. The President introduced some legislation today talking about reducing our deficit. We can't reduce our deficit unless more people are working. When more people work, less government services are needed and more revenue comes in. So our first priority needs to be to create more jobs. 1 out of every 3 jobs that were lost during this recession were either in contracting or in manufacturing, construction and manufacturing. Construction and manufacturing represented 1/3 of our job loss. If we're going to get our economy back on track, we've got to deal with construction and manufacturing. This legislation will help both industries put people back to work. It will help our economy. It will help us deal with our budget problem. But it will also help our energy crisis in America. We need to become self-sufficient in our energy in America. This legislation will help us. Using less carbon-based energy sources is good for our environment. You all know about carbon and the impact it's having on our environment. This legislation will help us reduce our reliance on carbon-based fuels. It will also help us create green energy jobs. It's interesting that a recent report by Brookings Institute showed that the clean energy economy employs about 2.7 million workers, which is more than the fossil fuel industry. So this is the growth industry. These are jobs that can't be exported overseas. These are jobs that help us deal with the emerging economies of the future, and this legislation will help us do it. What the legislation does is remove a provision in the tax code which has been an obstacle for businesses to employ technologies that are currently available on replacing their roofs. It reduces the write-off from 39 years, which is just not realistic. A business is not going to go in and make this type of investment if it takes that long of a period of time in order to recoup their funds. This legislation reduces that substantially to 20 years. It will create jobs. Estimated it will create 40,000 jobs. 40,000 jobs will not only help here in Frederick County in a company like this, but will help our nation. And it will help us reduce our energy consumption. Now, I'm not an engineer, but I've been told that it would reduce energy consumption by 133 million kilowatt hours annually. That's an impressive amount of energy savings. It's a win-win situation. A win situation for jobs and a win situation for our energy independence. And here's the last point I want to make. It's bipartisan. My co-sponsor in this effort is Mike Crapo. He's a Republican from Idaho. He serves with me on the Senate Finance Committee. So we have bipartisan support for this legislation. We think this is a logical addition to whatever jobs package moves through the Congress of the United States, whether it's a separate jobs package or whether it's part of the work of the Joint Committee. We will be pushing to have this made part of it, and I'm proud that I do have my colleague doing this from Idaho. I am also very pleased that we do have representatives here from the National Roofing Contractor Association. Dwayne Musser is here, who's the Vice President for Government Relations.